Hello, welcome back. Remember this from the other video? The Chinese brass tattoo machine that I polished. So I'm going to put it back together and get it running. Now, show you what I've done so far. So I've refitted the coils, same bolts. There's not much I can do about the hollow coil cores, believe it or not. Stuffing steel wool and all that crap doesn't work. So the only thing that could work is longer bolts, but it's not actually threaded all the way up, and I can't be bothered to run a tap into them and risk breaking the tap off inside. So I'm leaving them as they are, and I've left the capacitor as it is, wired up. I don't even know what one it is. So there you have it. So I've refitted so far. Obviously I've refitted the coils, refitted the rear connector post, and with regards to the front contact post, it had an M3 a contact screw, but everything else was M4. So I drilled that out 3.3, tapped it to M4 to take one of my copper tellurium copper contact screws, which is one of the first things that really does improve any machine that's just got anything lame like that, or you know, some crap like that. Just or even this. I see this a lot in machines, and let me show you. People just put like a machine screw in there, and that, you know, that's easily bent. Right, I can bend that. I can't put it with one hand, but I can actually bend that. So yeah, I figured that was worth replacing. So that's that. Now obviously in there is a tiny little bit of an O-ring before I put the grub screw in there to tighten that up, and that saves having metal on metal, and it won't ruin the threads on the copper contact screw. So the next thing we're going to do is fit the armature bar. Now what I've done here is, this is one of my armature bars, and I've carved the relief in it, as you can see there. So that'll be the high side, and that effectively lengthens the working area of the spring. Now you'll be pleased to know I haven't put any bend into this spring, as hopefully you can see that actually is milled with an angle, which will be a lot more visible once I actually fit the armature bar. So I think I'm going to just do this live, just let it carry on, rather than editing this. So I have this little tool here. Okay, now you can fit your armature bar in here, put your spring on it, line everything up. I don't use this for that, and I never have. But what I do use it for is I fit the spring under there. Okay, I put pressure on that like that, and just put pressure down there, and that gives me my roll or bend, if you like, on the front spring. So next up, okay, sorry, I'm looking down away from the camera here. Going to get the armature bar and put a nice small Allen screw in there. Now I use the 6mm M4 by 6. I had to check then. I use M4 by 6mm into all of my armature bars. What you don't want is, you put 8mm in, you're going to have a little bit of the bolt sticking out the bottom of the armature bar, and that will hit the rear coil, or it might, you know, I'm not saying it will definitely, but I've seen people put loads of washers on this bolt because this bolt's too long. Just go and buy the right length bolts. I mean, a box of those is, you know, a box of 100 is not a lot of money. You know, it's not even a £5. So so that's a 42mm long 18 gauge front spring. So shader basically. Now do you remember in the last video, we're going to check this spring. Naturally it has a roll on it slightly, so that roll needs to be pointing up. So we're going to put that in there. Okay, and I'm going to just tighten this. I'm going to show you how I line these up. Okay, so I get a set square, I put that in there, and I'm eyeing up. I'll put it against my shirt here so you'll see the gap better. I'm eyeing up this gap here. Okay, obviously I'm looking from the other side. Then I'll turn it around. That gap is slightly smaller, so I need to just adjust that slightly. Okay, and hopefully I keep forgetting where the camera is. The camera's over that side. So that's pretty much lined up. Just going to check it with the set square. I'm okay with that, and I'm pretty much okay with that, right? So that's the reason we turn it round, is so we're checking this distance in here where my finger's going up and down, that gap there. Okay, that's the gap we're checking that it's basically the same. So if I turn it round and the gap's the same, that pretty much means this is in the middle. Now if you chose, let me just tighten that bolt up. Okay, so I just tighten that up. I kind of hold it like this, hold everything in place, and just nip that up. Okay, then I'm going to just check it again, check nothing's come out of line. No, that looks fine. Now if you were using this tool to line things up, okay, that's basically lined up there. So you wind that screw in, that puts the armature bar, the tip of the armature bar in that hole there. So that goes in there. This holds the front spring in place. This back bit holds the rear spring in place. Hopefully there's not a lot of movement either way. There's a tiny bit, but nothing a blind man on a bolting horse would spot. And there we go. So that's the kind of almost proper use of that. There are other things you can do with this tool, but I don't subscribe to any of them. So what we need next is the bolt to hold the spring onto the rear deck. So let's just use, I've got this little short bolt here. To be honest, that'll do it. So I'm just going to put that in there. Hang on a minute. I'm not trying to reinvent a wheel here. Okay, so that's going to be going there. I'll put stuff down. Never remember where I've put it. So that's that. Now I have got a tool over the other side of the workshop that goes through here. I'm going to go and get that because I don't think I've got another one. Hang on a minute. There we go. So I have only got one of these, and this is just an armature bar alignment tool. So I'm just going to put that up there, and that basically checks the alignment, holds it in place while you do this bolt up. Okay, that's that. That's pretty straightforward. Now you'll be able to see that the angle carved in there to give you the tension. That's quite good. But I mean, we can put more. We can actually add. We can add some tension to that if need be. But I'm not going to bother, to be honest. Now then, that doesn't line up perfectly. This doesn't line up perfectly with the middle of that front spring, and I think the front spring's pretty much lined up with the armature bar. So what we need to do is because we need to push this out this way, so I need to add a washer in here. I'll just do that quickly. Might take a sec. We basically take the, I'll show you this. So I've taken the front contact off, and then I'll put a small washer in there. Alright, and then put this back on. Now, actually, I've just done this pretty quick. To be fair, that's lined that up actually pretty much perfect. So let me just tighten that up, and I will show. I'll just tighten this up and I'll show you. There we go. So that has pushed that over, so the contact screw is now touching the center of the tip of the front spring, which is what you're after. So I now need to put a little grub screw in here to lock this down. So I'm going to use a 6mm. Yeah, so I'll put a 6mm in there. Okay, and that'll just probably only need to do that hand tight. Yep, so only need to do that up hand tight, but if it does sort of work its way loose, you can just nip that up with always hold this in place, nip that up with a screw. Now I haven't got, let me have a look. I haven't got a polished wing nut ready to go, so I'm just going to put a basic wing nut, brass wing nut on there for now, and then we can reshape it or polish it later. Alright, so as per usual, I put 3 washers on here. If you've missed any of my, now there's 3 washers there. Alright, then that. Now the reason for the 3 washers, the middle washer acts as the washer, effectively acts as the bush. So one protects the frame, one protects the wing nut, and the middle one does the work, so to speak, but it actually lengthens the life. It puts less strain on the threads. Just put these back. It does, trust me. I've been doing this for a while. So what we're going to do now is fire this beast up. Okay, so the new machine, I've not got much of a gap there, so I think it's going to run quite fast, to be honest. Right, let's put it up to, oh, we'll knock the old camera there. Let's put it up to 7.5 volts, all right, and see where we're at. Right, that's pretty soft. That's pretty soft, that. See if we can get some more volts out of it. 8.5. Still soft, and what I am noticing is a very small blue spark on the, I wonder if you can see that. Not sure you can. Not sure you're going to be able to. No, very difficult to show that on camera. Actually, it's reduced, so there might have just been a bit of grease or dirt on the front spring, actually. Let's bring that down a little bit. See if we can make it a bit faster. There we go. Definite blue spark there. Can you see it? I can. It's hitting okay. That's a usable machine now, but I'm not happy about the spark there. So I think that's just a connection issue, in fact, rather than a knackered capacitor. So what I'll do is a little bit of brake cleaner, never hurt anyone. Just put that in there, right? Okay, I think I've got a little double-sided bit of emery. Put that in there. Let's give it another go. Let's see what's happening now. There we have it. Still a slight spark. I'm still not happy about that. Oh yeah, bigger spark there. Look, watch. Put this light out, see if it'll. See it? See the spark? Oh, check that spark out. Yeah. So we'll change that capacitor, I think. At some point we will change that capacitor. I'm not happy about that, but otherwise, it could be worse. Worse things happen at sea, as they say. What to do with it? I think I'm going to change that capacitor and then see how we get on. Probably just give it away. And give that away to my 1 millionth subscriber. No, let's say my 1000th. That's a bit more realistic, isn't it? Along with a bunch of other goodies. Gonna grab a load of goodies out of here for the 1000th subscriber. There will be a big giveaway, and it won't just be one person it goes to. There'll be a machine, there'll be some t-shirts and stickers and some spare parts and bits and pieces out of the workshop. So share the video, like, subscribe, etc. I've rattled on long enough. You know what, I think I've probably wasted enough time on this thing now, and I'm going to build this one up next to get this one running. Okay, as we know, this is quite a ancient beast now. It's been with me a long time since I built that. Got this one the other day, found this one. Look at that. Ooh, fast nut. That's a pretty cool spanner, that. It's a pretty heavy old machine though, so probably won't build that one, but I found that one in the cupboard. Right, so like, share, subscribe, and take care, stay safe. I'll see you on the next one.